Welcome back to another iteration of FarfaCast. In this episode, we'll be going over the NAWCQ, the North American World Championship qualifier, in which our buddies over the pond had an opportunity to qualify for the prestigious World Championship. Joined with me today is, as always, my co-host, Mr. Ryan Levine of Team ARG, and we have Jesse Kotton as well, who was participating both in the playoff and in the main event, and you managed to get success in both of those tournaments, which was pretty impressive a feat as is. And finally, of course, we have our new national champion of North America, Mr. Koty Angeloff, who also did take part in the playoff itself and went on to win the main event. So, hello and welcome.
Hey.
Hello.
You guys are pretty insane, to say the least, to make it all the way to the playoff, through the points race and everything that comes and is involved with that. But not only to do that, but to have huge success in the main event as well. So, let's just begin with the prelude of sorts. You guys have been working towards this all year. This isn't just one single event kind of thing. You guys have been pretty much going at it from the very beginning of the season, and not just as a sort of, like a random one-off top kind of thing. You've been preparing and you've been dedicating time and effort throughout the year, event after event, working towards this one moment that you guys have now achieved. Jesse, what has that been like?
If I'm being honest, it wasn't really as bad this year. So this is my third year doing the World's Rice, and this time with top 16. And definitely didn't have to go to as much as last year, so it wasn't that hard. For me, I kind of just did the regionals.
It wasn't that hard.
No. Okay, so I just did the 8 regions. I did 2 regionals every weekend in May. Besides that, I didn't go to that many regionals. I think the biggest thing for Koty as well, we both topped a lot of the YCSs this season, and that took up the bulk of our points, which helps a lot. It makes it not as stressful. You don't have to travel as much. I don't think Koty traveled as much for the bigger part of the year as well.
Really.
In the previous years, we have to do like 2 regionals a weekend when possible, every single weekend for like 6 months. That's when it's extremely rough. That's a lot of work. And Ryan can speak from that too. Last year.
It was so awful for me that I didn't enter a regional this season.
You still haven't entered one?
I did not enter a regional from this entire season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, how'd you get your invite?
Top the YCS.
Oh,
thanks.
Right. Yeah. I forgot that was a thing. Koty, I guess this is your first time going to Worlds, right? Unless I'm getting that mixed up, because you all seem to be fucking attending like 4 times and stuff. How has the race been for you up until this point?
So the race wasn't that bad, as Jesse said, since I topped a lot of the YCSs, which gave me just so many points. I really only had to go to regionals for 1 month out of the year. So honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like I think for the points playoff, like me and Jesse probably had it like the easiest out of everyone else in the top 16. Just because of the amount of YCSs we taught and how many regionals we just didn't have to go to.
Manav and Asala had it pretty easy too.
Manav actually flew to regionals though.
At the beginning, but like that's the thing. At the beginning, we didn't know it was going to be top 16, and people tried really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you guys all topped the 200th, right? And that was like more points because it was.
Oh, I got 60 seconds though, so I didn't get that.
Oh, that sucks. Okay, that's unfortunate.
I only got like 30-something points.
Yeah.
There was a big change in the World's Race system since last year with the introduction of the points playoffs. What are you guys' thoughts on the introduction of the tournament setting that they've given you?
It's like a miniature Worlds. It's pretty cool, especially because people who are going to Worlds, the taste of what it's going to be like, kind of for the preparation of the tournament. How it's actually like run is obviously different, but it's still really cool, and it's like also more entertainment for the players, which I think is neat. For the players though, it means you can't just work really hard to get to the top 2, which is a good thing and a bad thing. You can't just buy your way, I guess, to Worlds, but it also means you could work really hard the entire year and someone could just only go to a couple regionals, and they could just get lucky and beat the top 16. Like, that was something that could happen as well. Like,
Koty, what do you
so
think?
there are advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
I thought the tournament setting was actually just really hard because you can't really make a deck like you would for like a YCS or Nationals main event. You actually just had to make a deck to win 3 rounds and to just pretty much make your deck built around what you think everyone else is going to play and what they're not going to play, what type of maybe like tech cards and stuff. You can't take the same approach building your deck for the points playoff as you would for a regular tournament, just because it's only 3 rounds, and you know that you won't have to play against like any rogue or anything like that.
We'll be getting onto the deck
Poltergeist. Which I guess is just so all of your opponents played against rogue.
We'll be getting onto your deck building and thought process behind what you chose to play for that event in a moment. But just speaking sort of structurally about the point system itself, I guess a lot of criticism that could be leveled at this new system is that you kind of brought it up a little bit, Jesse, where you can work hard all year, you can win like 4 or 5 YCSs and then just get like, I don't know, like Imperial Ordered round 1 of the playoff or something like ridiculous like that. Do you see that?
Yeah, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Variance is going to be a factor no matter what, and it's kind of rough. Variance creates skill, but also takes away skill. So it's.
But do you think the variance should be as prevalent as it is at the playoff level, because it is only 3 rounds, basically single elimination? There is no redeeming factor for variance.
I think there are ways to work around it. I think one of the things that I would like to see is a double elimination tournament, so people don't watch like a lot of video games incorporated.
I wish you would
pretty
do
much
that
like
so badly.
you don't just get eliminated straight away. There's a losers bracket you get to play out once you lose, and it means that if you get unlucky one round, you still in the tournament. For you to get knocked out, you have to lose twice, and that reduces a lot of the variance that can happen if you just get unlucky one of the rounds. And with the playoff, it's not that many players, and it's the only thing going on like that's big on Friday. So I think they can afford to have the longer tournament. They could just start it earlier, and then the tournament would run fine. Like, wouldn't be that many extra rounds because they just have the winners bracket and loser bracket competing at the same time. I think that would help a lot.
I like the sound of that idea. Yeah.
I think in a perfect world, like top cut of YCSs would also be double elim, but I think rounds in Yu-Gi-Oh just take too long compared to, if you play a round of like Smash or like Street Fighter, that's like 10-15 minutes at most. And you play a round of Yu-Gi-Oh, it's 40 minutes, So
I
doubling
agree,
that.
The playoff,
but I agree. For the playoffs, I 100% agree with you. I think it's not only like, I think it should happen anyway, but I think in the playoffs, not only should it happen, I think in the playoffs, they could do it and it would not be a problem, like logistically even.
I was speaking to Thomas Rose, and I think that he gave quite an interesting suggestion. I'm sorry if I'm paraphrasing this wrong in advance, Tom, but he gave the suggestion that perhaps it could be, so you would have the point system, but within that top 8 bracket for us in the EU and the top 16 for you guys, they would take the people at the top with the most amount of points accrued at their best performing YCSs. So they'll take like your 3 best performances that year or something like that. So it means like people who, potentially have won like 4 events this year. I think Bowden or something comes to mind. But then like, not being able to go to Worlds seems a little bit unfair. So you basically have the point system, and then within that top kind of cut bracket, the people at the very top will have their best events of that season taken into consideration, and then those will decide who gets to go to World without a playoff system. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that kind of suggestion.
I think the problem is that if it's just as you described with no changes at all, that would just be for like the US at least, that would just make every regional below 64 points not matter at all. Because you would just play the Philly regional, which is 64 Worlds points, which is the same number you get. Like if you get first after Swiss at an LA regional or a Philly regional, you get just as many Worlds points as you do for winning a YCS, which that's a whole other issue. I think that that needs to be addressed. Like I think every year the points have more or less improved, kind of like the system and how they give points has improved. I think with one more revision, I think it will be very good. You know what I mean? I think if we just, I don't know what that last, but I think like the playoffs was a great step, I think, away from, I think now we just need to refine what that playoff tournament is and maybe how many spots each region. So one thing I'm really unclear about is why for North America, it's 16 players in the tournament and only 2 go to Worlds. And then in Europe, it's 8 players in the tournament, but 3 go to Worlds. Why isn't Europe also 16 if there are more spots? You know what I mean?
That is a very good point.
That one, I just don't understand that one. And that's probably like, I'm sure there's some reason, you know, of like, I think for the
I think it's because you're
only 2 people, only the finalists go to Worlds, right? So I guess for North America, they elected to have more spots for the WCQ main event than the playoff.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think you guys have more main event spots. That's why, and less for the playoff itself.
Because I think in general, North America sends 6 reps and Europe sends 5.
Yeah.
So I guess like the distribution, they just chose to do it differently. But
yeah, I think Tom's actually in the chat there. He said his suggestion was to have your best 8 events count towards the points. So best X amount of events performed that season, rather than just having more events, therefore more points, which I guess sort of rewards attendance, which isn't necessarily bad, but at the same time, you'd rather
a lot of loopholes. Like as someone who's played pretty much almost all the different regional locations, easily some that are way harder than others, and some that are way easier, and that can create a lot of loopholes. Like just going off regional performances, like how well you do at the regionals is not good, because like the smaller regionals with like the worst players are just going to be extremely easy. They maybe only count YCSs, but then that's still harder said than done, because like if you want to get a large sample size, then like maybe just only count YCSs, but then still just like may not be fair. No matter which way you look at it, I think there's a good, fair way to go about it, but just going based off the best 8 performances can also just be very bad.
I think regardless of what path they take, there will always be some kind of loophole.
I think we're counting like just performances. Like I want to have like 5 regional wins this season, and then like a YCS win. And then like regional and 2 YCS seconds. Like, but like, sure it's strong, but like, okay, the regional win should not equate to as much or even more than a second place at a YCS.
For sure.
So, and then how do you compare those if you're just getting the 8 best results? What constitutes the best result?
Sure.
If it's just off placing, then it could be I won a regional that was like 100 and something players. That should just not be that much. That's why the based off of the attendance thing is nice.
Honestly, what I would like to see is them add more points for YCS tops.
Yeah,
because it's absurd. Honestly, how you can go win a regional, like a 64 person regional, 64 invite regional, and get the same amount of points as if you won a YCS. Like that's just absurd to me.
Yeah,
they do need to do that, but in general, it has been pretty good. All the players who do top a lot of YCSs have been the ones doing the World Points thing. I think most players who topped, I'm gonna give a random number, more than 3 events are on there.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty accurate. Without like having the list of names in front of me, I think you're right.
If Christian someone comes to mind, he wasn't on there, and Cam, I guess, but I think his tops are UDSs.
Yeah. Because the UDS also doesn't give any points, which is also crazy because there are no WCQ invites given at the UDS, so technically there are no Worlds points given, which is like also kind of ridiculous. That's like a very hard tournament.
Invites at the Atlanta 3 through YCS.
But they still gave Worlds points, and that one also confuses me. They did not give out invites to the WCQ, but they gave out Worlds points, which I don't even know how they like quantified the Worlds points they awarded at that event. If they didn't give out you know what I mean? I don't know how they did that, but that doesn't matter, I guess.
The structure and sort of administrative side of the whole Worlds points aside, let's move on to some good old bread and butter Yu-Gi-Oh deck building and preparation for this event. I suppose we should probably start somewhere around about Knoxville. I assume all of you attended?
Yes.
I attended. I participated. I did not compete.
So I guess that's kind of set the tone for the meta of the NAWCQ. I believe that was the last major event before the NAWCQ. So coming out of that event, I actually can't remember how you guys did there. Feel free to tell me how you did in just a moment.
Jesse won.
Oh, did you win that?
Jesse won the event.
I'm out of the loop, man. I'm sorry. Koty, were you there? Or how did you do?
I lost the last round.
Okay, sure. Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah, good job, Jesse. That's pretty cool. So you guys came out of that event, and Jesse, I guess you were pretty. Yeah, now I remember, of course. Jesse, you're obviously really. You were hiding that Thunder Dragon list for a while, and then you decided to release it like 2 days later or something.
I was going to release it, and Bowden said, "Please keep it till after he's done his maths," and I'm like, "Sure."
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, that was just him wanting to hide it. I didn't really care.
So I think that probably set the tone for the NAWCQ. It was like, okay, well, we kind of have what is, I suppose, maybe considered to be the new best deck after you had won the event with it.
It had already been the best deck.
It already was.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I feel like it's definitely the most powerful deck, but I think for a lot of different players, they might have perhaps perceived it as maybe not the kind of event that they would want to take to.
That's just perception, right? Objectively, I'm pretty sure it was the best deck. Me and Koty played 8 regionals in May each. I believe it was that much. We both hopped almost every single regional, or won every single regional between the two of us.
Yeah.
Because Thunder was just insane. And, like, this is despite losing rolls, missing every single danger. Like, the deck's crazy. And especially people aren't preparing for it, which they weren't. It's just an absolutely insane
The dragon
deck.
cards are so ridiculous. Like, those cards are so insane.
Do you not think maybe it could be a case of, I mean, you guys would have been doing well regardless of which list you decided to play, you know?
No.
I mean, yes,
No.
but
Maybe, like, sort of, but...
I definitely don't think so, because after the last regional I went to an ARG and played Salad, and I went X3. So,
yeah, like, I really don't like the argument of, like, well, they're a good player, so they do well with any deck, because, like, no, one of the things that make people good is identifying the right deck to play.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
Like, I can't, Jesse, like, none of us, we can't top a regional with a Yugi starter deck because we're better than our opponents. Like, no, that's not how that works. That's a very extreme example, but it's like, if you have a deck that's just significantly worse than your opponent's deck, they're allowed to play worse than you and still win because their deck is better.
I did top regional with God cards in my deck.
I know, that was very impressive. I did like that. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I forgot about that whole spiel.
Yeah.
So I suppose this is a pretty biased because obviously you guys very strongly believe that the Thunder Dragon deck is the best. But I suppose coming into the NAWCQ, there's 2 ways to look about it, because obviously you had the playoff to play and you had the main event to play. I think we should maybe start with the playoff itself and how you guys decided to deck build for that, because as you've just explained, you very much believe that the Thunder Dragon deck was the best, but you ended up playing Altergeist and Striker. So what's that about? Let's start with you, Koty.
So I didn't want to play Thunder for the playoffs, like, just because I thought everyone would have the approach that, oh, everyone's going to be playing Thunder and people would main deck Lancia. That's what I thought going into the event. When I got into the event, there was like 8 strikers?
2 people playing Thunder, like 8 strikers.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, the meta, like, for the playoffs was just very, very weird, in my opinion. So, for Altergeist, I thought that it could auto-win the striker matchup. Shut up.
All right, man.
I thought it could win against Orcus and Thunder as well, going second, which I really like, because I could play 7 copies of Secret Village and 7 copies of Mystic Mine. So, I don't know. Like, I thought that was the best meta call based on what I thought everyone else was playing, because Salad is probably the worst matchup for Altergeist outside of Striker and Thunder being the easiest. So, and I knew that only like 2 people were going to play Salad for the event, so I thought that I would take my chances and just play Altergeist just for the auto wins against the Striker matchup and the Thunder Dragon matchup game 1s, And then games 2 and 3, I would decide a little bit more for those matchups and hopefully take a game 2 or 3 off of them.
I feel
and
like
then if I play against Salad, then I could just hopefully win the die roll and win.
I feel like with these sort of deck building for an event, you just like you play the best deck, and then you guys are trying to like double bluff each other by like playing the thing that beats the best deck, but then maybe you just play the best deck regardless to double bluff or something. Like it's a very strange dynamic coming into like such a small, like concentrated like event of small players.
So it's the best deck that beats the best deck, and then a deck that beats the deck that beats the best deck.
Right, yeah.
So it's a weird triangle. I think that kind of existed for all these small tournaments, just because they're short. You get the best of you. You can't just end everyone being so good. It's not just a straight up enter with the best deck. Although I do think entering with what you perceive to be the best deck is typically still correct.
And then you follow that train of thought so far, you hit Altergeist somehow, and then no one knows. What's going on.
I didn't say that was Koty.
Yeah, no, I know. No, but for real though, I really like making fun of Altergeist. I don't think it was that bad of a pick for the playoffs. I actually don't think Geist was a bad pick. Yeah, I don't think Geist was a bad pick for the playoffs. I think it was a bad pick for the main event, but I think for the playoffs it was fine.
There's no way I was going to play for. There was no way I was going to play for the main event.
The same mistake you made at Worlds.
The same mistake 2/3 of the room made at Worlds. Thank you very much.
Guys, I don't know how that everyone.
I actually don't know how that happened. So to side note, to go on to what you just said, where like at Worlds, everyone perceived the best deck to be Goki, and then everybody was like, well, literally the only deck that can beat Goki is Altergeist with like 15 main hand traps. Literally the only thing that can do anything because of all the other decks were hit so much on the list, and Geist just like wasn't. So then like, I guess somehow just half the room or more. I think Geist was the most played deck at Worlds last year.
Yes,
and none of us knew why. Everybody I talked to that like after round 1, they're like, dude, I'm playing Geist, and everybody was like, I thought I'd be the only one playing Geist, and like, no, it was just 15 people.
So basically, for advice for anyone who ends up going to Worlds or some kind of event like that, just play the best deck. If it's the perceived best deck, if everyone thinks it's the best deck, just call their bluff and just play the best deck. Like
because everybody else is gonna not do it.
I'll play Altergeist again with one multi-faker this time.
All right, so sorry, where were we? Yeah, we're going to talk about Jesse's decision. So Jesse, you are like infamous throughout, I guess, like these past insane like 2+ seasons that you've had of playing combo, of playing Thunder Dragon, of just playing these always like insane decks, right? And then you settled on like the Widow Anchor set.
The buy, as Jesse likes to call it.
Yeah, that how
turned it into not the buy.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
So good.
How did you end up playing what you have always kind of made fun of as just a bad deck?
So first, I do want to debunk the fact that I'm only a combo player. My roots in the game are playing Burning Abyss with like 20-something trap cards in it, and that's like one of my favorite decks of all time. And I was very good with that deck, I feel like. And I did very well with it. Like that's where I first started topping. So Control is my roots. And like my last time playing Control was not that long ago. It was Pure Zoo. I know people are going to say, oh, it's not a Control deck. But compared to Draco Zoo, it's Control. And so it's really not that foreign to me. I just don't feel like it's correct a lot of the times because recently combo decks with the card pool have been so ridiculous, especially with stuff like Maxi in the meta.
Yeah.
It's just for this event, I felt like there wasn't a good way to solve combo mirrors. Orcust vs. Thunder and Thunder vs. Orcust were very fluky, and I didn't want to really take that chance. On the other hand, there were a lot of like people like trying to beat combo decks with cards like Mystic Mine and Artifacts, and those are very hard to deal with. There's not a good answer to those either, especially when the combo deck started playing Mystic Mine, because you can't really feasibly side in Twin Twister versus Orcust as a Thunder player. That's just so bad, or even in the mirror match, it's just not that good. So I just had a lot of issues there, and I started looking like Thunder was getting a little more flawed solely because it was being so targeted, especially because I did feel like people would main deck Lancia, and I expected like a good amount of Orcust in the events and Mystic Mine just in people's decks, and it became hard for me to justify playing Thunder. Whereas I felt like Striker stood a strong Orcust and Salmon Gray matchup, and its harder matchup was Thunder. it could be addressed with that same thing of Mystic Mine. And that's why I kind of approached it with, okay, build my deck to beat the combo deck while maintaining a good matchup with the others. And then my only bad matchup is the Mirror, which I can adjust for on the side. And then I also found the double nothing gimmick. Which,
Yes.
doesn't mean you have a win con in the Mirror when you draw weak hands, or just even like when your hand is built to be a combo, you play against Striker, you can still just pull the win out in a lot of scenarios.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you kind of just like clear out some disruption as best you can, and then you just roll off the 0, summon Ray, and you have game. Like
crazy! I won my round 1, both my games like that, and both my games in the finals.
Yeah, we saw you on stream, and oh my god! Like hopefully I'll have a video up later today with the meme review of the NAWCQ for anyone watching here. Our reaction on stream when we were watching it live was just like, holy! Like he did it again! Like two games in a row, like twice.
So easy. So another thing with the Striker Mirror is it's like you don't really want to be setting all your cards to the field because there's so much destruction. Because if you do that, you're just losing all your resources. But if you do that, then you could just get destroyed by double or nothing. So it creates this kind of paradox where they have to choose between playing like a normal Striker Mirror and like holding their cards like they should be doing, or if they should be setting you playing on double or nothing, but then losing to like normal Striker cards. So it becomes very hard to play around. And that was kind of what I liked about it. And then it still has good applications for Salmon Ray and Orcust because it just hits Galatea and Wolf for 8,000 each. It's just kind of rough for Thunder, but it's not terrible.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. I never thought, we would see that kind of card in such an event. Where did you find it? Like, how did you find this?
So I think anybody who's good, who's read all the cards in Dual Power, recognized that card would be good at one point.
Did they?
Can I say what this is just banned now, so I don't think it matters. So that Utopia double was like brought to my attention. I don't remember who put it. Somebody in the ARG chat. I want to say it was either Bowden or Vlad. I don't remember who it was, or maybe Tim. I actually just don't remember. Sorry. And there was a combo where you use Utopia double, and instead of summoning regular Utopia, you summoned Utopia Kaiser. And then Utopia Kaiser summoned out Diablosis and another, I think it was some Dark Matter maybe. And then you make Bard each, and you set 2 of the rank up spells. And then on your opponent's turn, you rank up into Kali Yuga VFD.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I knew what that card did.
That sounds like Vlad. Yeah, that sounds like Vlad.
Okay, I've been told it was Vlad. That was Vlad. Okay, cool. The Lunalite deck. Very cool. Thank you, Vlad. That card, those cards are banned now. So
yeah, that's
yeah. So I think maybe it's just me then, but like I feel like I talked to some pros. I don't remember who they were, and they're definitely like, yeah, this card has potential, and like. It's still so many wins. It wasn't my idea, actually. It was Ryan Yu, the Dragon Duel World Champion. He's on my team and goes to my locals. And he convinced one of the players, Luch, to play it at YCS Knoxville. And at first I bashed it, and God, why would you ever play that? And then when I started analyzing Striker more as a potential deck to play, I started realizing, hey, this actually does fix some of the flaws the deck has. And then I realized, okay, I was wrong. I shouldn't have bashed it. This is actually pretty good. So I did pick it up, and that's where I got it from. So I can't actually take credit for it. I did think the card was good for a very long time, but I never thought of incorporating in Sky Striker, and I don't think anybody really did.
Just while we're on
it was insane.
Just while we're on the topic of your deck, in the meantime as well, a total blowout card that we saw you resolve as well. Like, I mean, obviously it's completely overshadowed by Double or Nothing because of how insane that was.
That card was my idea, and that card was crazy.
Yeah.
I beat Koty too. I played Koty in top 8, and I went first game 3, set a trap trick, summoned a Shizuku, and the game was over.
So tell us about like how you came to this conclusion, because it's very strange that Striker has been a deck for this long, and the Mirror has been a thing for this long, and I haven't seen it until now, and yet you resolved it for basically game versus Manav that we saw on stream.
Yeah, so I kind of actually went across the thinking process with Striker. How do I make this deck fix the deck's problems? And some of the problems I had was I want to get the mine as fast as possible, and then that goes with Metaverse, and then Trap Check helps that. So I already decided I want Trap Check in my deck, and I got the idea from also like Manav. He played it in Pasadena.
Did Manav play Full House?
Not Full House, Trap Trick.
Okay, sure.
In Pasadena and the UDS in Mexico. I don't know if he played them, but he was definitely thinking about it when I was talking to him. They were in his deck for testing.
Mm-hmm.
But those were the things that he was considering to play for sure. I'm not sure if he actually went through with it. So I knew it was possible. He's a good striker player. He's been playing it for months. If he thought it was a possibility, I wanted to try it out. And tried it out. I was trying to look at different trap cards like inside. They really give me good, strong coverage. And then I found the artifacts are obvious. And then Full House and Typhoon meant that I could blow my opponent out or just hit single target removal. And I felt like that was so strong because I could just do whatever I needed it to. And it made Trap Chicken one of the just craziest cards. Full House was absolutely nuts. I kind of just went through looking through normal trap cards and saw Full House and thought, maybe this is playable. And I thought about it, and for like the random rogue match with like Draco, Geist, Burn, it's insane. And then the mirror match, it's insane. And it's only having to play 2 copies and having access to 5 is nuts.
I need you to explain to chat why you played 43 cards in your main deck so they all look stupid. Because this is actually, when it was explained to me, I think it was I actually think it was one of the best reasonings I've heard for any deck building choice ever.
It definitely was.
So please explain to the chat why you played 43 cards in the main so they all stop making upstart memes and they all feel stupid. Okay.
So a couple of reasons. Let's start with the upstart one, because this one is the most obvious, and I think everyone is dumb for saying this. Upstart is just a spell engraver striker that costs 0 cards and costs 0, it has just 0 bad implications. I don't know why you wouldn't play it in striker no matter how many cards you play. Second, I'm known for playing Thunder. I've been playing it since October, since Niagara, since its release, with the exception of Zombies, which also I played more than 40 cards in. And I've always been an advocate for more than 40 cards. So people see it, I'm playing over 40, they think, oh, combo deck, time to Dweller him. Or if I concede game 1 without showing a card with a Thunder combo, they'll just side for Thunder. But because they think I'm playing this deck with 43 cards, they'll just not be prepared for a striker deck because it's very unconventional. Especially because my last list at Knoxville, which I released, was 43 cards exactly. I think that deck was built very well. My main event deck was the same thing as Knoxville, pretty much.
That's actually a very, very clever reason. Like, you sit down for your
I was so shook. I was like, that's so crazy. So then I played 43 cards in Striker for the main event because I wanted people to Dweller me. And it happened once. So
you sit down for your event.
It was so cool, right?
You sit
down.
I
don't know, man.
You sit down for your match. This is something you all should do. You sit down for your match. You ask your opponent how many cards in your main deck, how many cards in your extra, and you tell you 43. Oh, 43.
Yes.
This sounds like a combo deck.
Then he Dwellered me, and then I played Sky Striker, and he was very sad. And I was like, Jesse is great. I was like, I love this.
And then a final reason, which if people watched my deck with FarfaYGO at Worlds, I think when you're trying not to draw brick cards and all your cards in your deck do the same thing, good can't play over 40 cards, because if you're just adding more copies of cards that do the same thing, you're not decreasing your chances of drawing them at all. Like playing more copies of Mine, more copies of Ray, more striker cards, you're not really decreasing chance of drawing them at all. If you do, it's not that much. Like if you play 40 versus 43 in my deck, the chance of drawing Ray is like 2% less. It's not that much. And what you get instead is your chance of drawing your brick cards, like Double or Nothing Metal Fusion, that you really don't want to draw. That decreases more, which I think is way more important. As well as you can fit in more of your searchable cards that you want to have access to, which otherwise you'd have to just straight up cut. So I do think the choice is absolutely correct, and I stand by it. I don't think 40 is correct. So a big thing as well is if you think about every single number you play in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just a random number. It has no significance outside of being either the least or the most number of cards you can play. 40 is just the least number of cards you can play. It's completely random. 40 is a random number. So if you're looking at it in that way, just play any random number which makes the most sense mathematically for your deck, and if 43 tends to be that number, or any other number, then that should be the number you play. You shouldn't have OCD and look at it, okay, I want to play the least number of cards, 40, and that be it. There are definitely arguments to every single number you play.
Just as a quick side note, what would you say is a good number in Orcust?
I really don't like it that much, so I can't give a good opinion.
Okay.
Damn, somebody just said that upstart on a 43 card deck and just ignored everything you said. I love this. Thank you, chat.
They probably just joined.
They probably just joined and missed the whole 10-minute explanation as to why this is the best deck and why this is the best deck ever created. And they go, upstart in 43.
So if that 49 is good for Orcust, yes, 49 is my favorite.
Because I was just thinking, with that same logic, you have a bunch of Garnety cards that you don't want to draw, so you increase the ratio just with more consistency. Therefore, you draw the Garnets less, but you're not.
It's not even that many Garnets, but it's just the searchable cards you don't need to draw. You'll get them when you want them. You don't want to really open them, and you're just decreasing the chances of drawing them by playing more than 40, and you're not really hurting that consistency at all if you do the math. And that's something that's really cool. That if you actually sit down and think about it, why am I actually 40 cards if it's just not beneficial.
So just one final point before we move on to Koty's deck. I'm trying to been piecing it together. I'm a little bit lost with your siding patterns. So I'm trying to like figure out, like, for example, the mirror match. I guess we should probably talk about that since that was your most common match in the playoff. I'm just not really sure what, because there's a lot of cards I would take out, but not too many I would really put in. Like I see like Ogre, MST, Full House Typhoon. And
That's a lot of cards.
That's more than that's, and you take out Metaverse and Mine, and then
I
that's 3
tied up-
Metaverse, 3 Mine. Yeah.
do you keep impermanence?
Yes. So a really cool play in the mirror match that is really, really important. Is
I love
drop
this
their
one too.
Impermanence into the multi-roll zone, and you impermanence whatever the monster they have, and it turns off their multi-roll as well. And that's very, very strong. It turns impermanence into a really strong card. And that's something that's really cool. It's overlooked with the trap chick and impermanence. Its interaction where you get to control the zone impermanence goes, and during your opponent's turn is so crazy.
Okay.
And it comes up a lot.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. This is a pretty well made deck. I think that this is definitely a super solid choice for the playoff. Did you have, obviously, you've qualified for Worlds, but like, results out of the sort of equation, do you think that maybe you could have potentially made a better choice with a different deck, or maybe even just different
I think
card choices?
my deck choice was pretty solid. Nothing I would like change. There are some maybe stuff I would change. I'm pretty inexperienced with Striker. I picked it up like 3 weeks ago, so I'm still learning. Like, it's hard. Striker is a very intricate, has a lot of intricacies to it that I'm not used to. So I feel like I played fine. I still know the deck well, but there are maybe some things that I haven't picked up on yet that I still need to learn about that maybe I don't know. One thing that I found was that Pankratops was not that good. I don't know why I played it. I just had too much to side in for control matchups. And like my big thing with the deck building as well is I wanted to build the deck to have no cards that were only good going second post side, because other people could make me go first a lot, especially everyone knows when you're playing after round 1 or whatever. So cards like Sphere Mode on Pankratops just seemed weak to me. And because of that, I felt like Pankratops just didn't really go with the theme of what I was trying to do. So for the main event, the people that did play my deck list, like that I worked with, I told them to not play Pankratops. Didn't really go with what I was trying to do. Told them to play a third Ogre and third MST or second Nancia instead. Besides that, I don't think there's anything that would change so far.
Okay. Over to you, Koty. We've got your list up on screen. I suppose maybe you want to talk a little bit about the playoff and maybe clear something up for us that happened on stream before you go on, but also maybe talk about your deck a little bit, why you think it was. You kind of mentioned it a little bit, but I suppose having not had as much success in the playoff, you probably have a different perception to how you saw your deck compared to Jesse, who qualified through it.
So, for the playoffs, so Altergeist was only made for the playoffs. I was never intending on playing it for the main event. I was always intending on playing Thunder for the main event, just because of how powerful the deck is and how many free wins you can get just from winning die rolls alone. So that's why I was always going to play Thunder in the main event. But Altergeist, like I said, I just thought that I had like the free wins with the 7 Mystic Mine and the 7 Secret Village. But so okay. So for my feature match. So game 1, I started out by playing John Juan on the feature match for top 16. And game 1, I asked him just to play a little faster is all, because for everyone who doesn't know, he's from the OCG. And in the OCG, they do not have timed rounds. So they take a lot longer to think about their plays because they won't get punished for it. So John Juan also goes, whenever I was doing the Worlds grind, he also went to a lot of regionals that I went to. And I would tend to watch his matches sometimes. And a lot of the time, he would go into time because of how slow he would play, because I believe of the OCG thing, where there's no time. So a lot of the players are able to think more about their plays. So Game 1, I asked him to play faster once or twice, and Game 2, I asked him to play faster a third time. That's all I said about playing faster throughout the entire match. So, in the second game, he gets a slow play warning from the judge. Just from the judge. I didn't ask for anything like that people would think. He just got a slow play warning. So after that, he started playing faster. And then we roll around to game 3. Game 3, we have about 5 minutes, a little less than 5 minutes in time. I'm down 2,200, I believe, in life. And he starts looking through his banish, his side deck, and his graveyard on one of the turns. On the next turn,
you're
not even allowed to look at your side deck.
What in his graveyard? He was looking at his side deck?
Yeah, he looked at his side deck.
You're not even allowed to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I even mentioned that you're not allowed.
That's crazy. Yes. Check side deck. Okay.
Like, I've gotten warnings plenty for doing that before.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just know you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. I even told the judge that, and he didn't do it again. So on the following turn after that happened, he looked through his graveyard and looked through his banish pile once again. And then took some, well, I don't think he took that long, personally. But he just looked through his graveyard and looked through his banish again, that he banished with Desire, to check. And then the turn after that, which would be the third turn in a row, he looked at his graveyard, he looked at his banish pile, and then everyone knows that watched the stream that it was a very simplified game state.
Yeah.
So he announces, I'm going to read my field spell real quick, which was in his graveyard, because claimed that he didn't know what it did.
That's crazy.
And then he read the field spell for about 5 to 10 seconds, something around there. And then he looked through his banish pile again. And then he thought on a move for about 5 more seconds. And then, as soon as he said battle phase, the judge by himself said, "Pause play. Give me 1 second." And he went to go talk to the head judge, and the head judge came over to us after about 20 minutes or however long on stream.
It felt forever, yeah.
Yeah, it felt forever.
It took so long. It was so annoying.
I feel bad for everyone that was like waiting.
Well, there was another round that went longer than yours, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, the reason why it took so long is because there was already an appeal happening.
Yeah.
Mm. I think
so. The head judge comes up on stage, and he asks for both of our sides of the story. Jongwon explains his side of the story. I explain my side, which the stream heard me saying that I asked him to play faster three times previously in the match. So I think that's really the only thing that they heard from me.
Yeah.
And at this point, I didn't feel like the judge should have gave Jongwon a slow play warning for this instance, since I think it was maybe like 15 seconds to think about the play. But that's just me. I'm not a judge, and I'm not going to argue with the judges, especially on stream.
I think the argument
for my opponent
is that he took 15 seconds to do nothing. Like, is that like, because did he do, like, he was from the battle phase, right? Like, he just
he was reading.
I think that would be the justification, I guess.
Yeah, it was definitely deserved, but I think that the issue really that a lot of people took with it is like a game loss was like harsh because in that situation, I mean, you were not going to win that game. Like, there was nothing that you could have done to win that. Like, he was winning that game regardless. And then he got a win. He lost via game loss. So he literally like threw the game away that he was going to win. I think was probably the issue that a lot of people took and kind of hounded around you because of that.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, like, everyone thought that I called the judge
Yeah.
about it, which is just not true.
Mm.
I don't want to win that way. Like, if I win, I want to win because I beat my opponent,
Yeah.
not because he got a game loss in game 3.
Yeah, and I think the issue is as well that a lot of people had was obviously the fact that the game state itself was like not very favorable for you, but a lot of people thought that you were pressing it, which I didn't. I was like on feature match when I was listening, I could hear you speaking, and Jerome talking about fucking museums and shit for. Like he just wouldn't shut up. I was trying to listen to the judge call, but he was talking about Pittsburgh culture and so that was amazing. But what little I did manage to hear, I didn't hear anything from you that was sort of negative. I didn't hear you press for it. I didn't hear you say, oh, he should get this or this should happen. You were, from what I could tell, you were very respectful. You just explained the situation as it happened. You didn't add or take away from it. I thought you were pretty fair in that scenario. But at the same time, I think that you're not going to protest it. Like, you're not going to just be like, oh no, judge, he definitely shouldn't get a warning, because in the end, you want to go to Worlds, and if the judge is giving, so you're not going to intervene and be like, yeah, please don't game loss him. I want to lose. It's not realistic, and I think a lot of people during the stream were saying that, and that's just not feasible at all.
It has to be really, really egregious. I think for somebody, it has to be like the most undeserved thing you ever witnessed in your life for you to really tell a judge, no, I don't think my opponent deserves this. Like,
yeah, and in that scenario,
it's a really tough.
Yeah, in that scenario, I don't think there was reasonable doubt that he kind of did deserve the upgraded penalty. From what we were watching, he that previous slow play warning, it was pretty obvious when we were watching that this guy's playing quite slow, and then when it happened again, it was like, well. It was a simplified game state. There was nothing to do. It was like attack pass, and he was reading his graveyard. He was checking his banishment, and then he checked the side deck. And I was like, "What's going on now?" Like,
checking side deck.
Check side deck. Like, better figure out what I'm playing next round. Anyway, unfortunate he had to go out that way. It is really sad, and he was pretty emotional about it. And of course, Konami made us very aware of that by zooming in on his face. That was great production. But yes,
wait, really?
Oh my god, that's so sick.
The production was terrible. For like every single game of the YCS, like the turn 1 would be played from like the side angle. Like we couldn't see the table. Like we would Koty would be playing and we just see his face, like his eyebrows going and that was like good. Turn 1. Every single round for the whole event, like a full salad combo would be happening, and the camera would just be on the face of the player. And then eventually it would go to the board, maybe like turn 3, like at the latest. It was insane how bad it was. But yeah, when Jongwon was during the judge call, I feel like they just kept the camera on him a little bit too long. Especially he did get very emotional. I mean, he was crying, and then they zoomed in and we were just like, "Oh my god, what the fuck, Konami? Are you serious?" Like, yeah, the zooming in was just unbelievable. That's
awful.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was terrible. Anyway. Yu-Gi-Oh! So, Koty, you are the national champion with this deck here. You kind of arrived to the same conclusions as Jesse did. I feel like this deck isn't, like, super difficult to kind of build, but you do have a little bit of some differences here. First and foremost, you're starting with 40. How come you're deciding to go with 40 in this deck?
So, I'm going to be honest right now. The majority of the deck, my friend Hani, he made because I was worried more about the points playoff. So I didn't really have enough time to finalize the my main event deck because of how worried I was about the playoffs. So I trusted Hani to make the final list for the event, where I had some input on it, but not as much, not that much that it would matter, honestly. But the 40, I never like more than 40. I'll go to 41 every now and then, but I don't like playing more than 40, honestly. That's just me though. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
You don't like Chaos Emperor?
So that's like one of the main things that I brought up to Hani.
Because you had one because you were in the points playoff. I guess so. That's the
Like I've been playing Chaos Emperor at all the regionals that I went to, as well. So
I know.
I had access to a Chaos Emperor. The thing is, like, I just didn't think I had room for it. Also, it could contribute to bricks. It was either played the duo, the Thunder Dragon duo, or the Chaos Emperor in my eyes. And one searchable by Eclipse Wyvern, the other one searchable by my Dragon Dart. So, also Chaos Emperor is searchable by Brotar. One of the main reasons that I didn't like the Chaos Emperor either is that it conflicted with Sekka's Light a lot, so I wouldn't be able to get the scale effect. And I would always want duo in that scenario.
Huh, I totally forgot that.
It helps in your bad hands where you tribute over Heretics.
Yeah. Also, I didn't play Diabolos either.
That one, like, I don't like, but I can understand it. I still like Diabolos, but I'm not that opposed to it.
You went with a sort of heavier Crusadia engine. I feel like the 3 Reclusia was sort of popularized at the last event, and then you decided to add like Arborea, Draco, and Maximus. How come you decided to play more of those?
So Reclusia is obviously the best one going second since it can destroy cards on the field. Arborea, Maximus, and Draco. How many Draco did you play in your list, Jesse? 1 or 2 in Knoxville?
1.
Yeah. Like, you only need 1 to really do the combo. And if you draw it, it sucks, but it'll just happen. It'll be your Garnet that you can actually play with. Maximus and Arborea, I wanted more different names of Crusadias, so I could always play on my turn 1 if I opened one. And I would never draw the same ones off of Saryuja, so I would always be able to special summon them if I drew them.
I assume that's why you cut down the solar, right?
Excuse me?
I assume that's why you cut down on the solars, because of the added Crusadias.
Yeah, because I don't like playing a lot of normal summons. So with this version, the Crusadias can become normal summons or special summons. But if I open a Solar and a Crusadia, I just don't want to choose out because most of the time I'm just want to summon the Crusadia anyway. We actually cut the second Dragon Roar for the Solar.
How come you decided to play the Solar at all? It seems like 6 normal summons, hybrid normal summons would be fine.
Yeah, so the thing is, since we were playing 2 War, it never really did anything in our opening hand, and whenever we have multiples, it would be really bad. So we played the 1 Solar because it could be a starter card by just normal summoning it, and if you have white and Solar, you're going to win anyway. Also, Solar is a really good card to draw off of your Saryuja. It's better to draw than Roar because it can send the Roar and still make Colossus by itself.
I'm not very familiar with a lot of the combos in this deck, but like, is drawing into a Crusadia after your Saryuja good for anything? I know that Arborea is go on.
So it depends on your hand. Like, if you're able to draw 4 off the first Saryuja that you make, and you draw into more Crusadias, then like the Crusadias that you draw off the Saryuja, you can just special summon them to make another Saryuja a lot of the times. It's pretty much just a lot of easy fodder to make Saryujas with and push through back rows.
Okay. One other thing as well that I notice here is the Defrag Dragon. Jesse, did you cut that from your Knoxville list, or?
Yes.
Yeah. How come you decided to keep playing Defrag?
So Defrag Dragon, it was always good. With a Crusadia. Also, it helps so much. It helps so much playing through Lancia. Because if you open Defrag Dragon and Crusadia, you're able to do the whole Guard Dragon combo through Lancia.
The Defrag is very good. I only cut it.
Also, the Graveyard effect's insane.
Okay. Your side deck, no material. I guess you guys can all contribute to this because I don't think I really saw much of it before
Koty
this
has
event.
like to say about it.
Wait, what?
No material.
What, Jesse?
I think you have something you want to say about material.
No, I'm good. I'm fine.
Oh no.
What happened? Tell me. I'm not in on this.
I'll let Jesse say it. It's fine. What regional was it?
We were at the Virginia Regional doing points grinds, and me and Koty were just discussing what hand trap feels best to side.
Virginia Regional.
Thunder. He wasn't convinced on no material, and his reasoning for it not being. I don't even know how this came up. We're just talking about no material.
We're talking about nationals last year. My Trickstar deck.
We were talking about our side deck is for hand traps. So we were talking about two things, I guess, came up. I brought up no material. And Koty brings up no material as like Firewall and Goki form. Don't even know
What does that
means.
even mean?
I was playing Trickstar. Okay, I was playing Trickstar at the time. So I would make Firewall my first turn. And against Goki, they would just go normal summon a monster. And special summon a monster, I just return them both to the hand. And then their turn ends. It's just like no material.
Why would you
also,
make a Firewall?
Also, my defense, I was just super tired, too. So I was just randomly talking.
I was just talking.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay, so yeah, no material. I haven't really seen it be too popular, and I haven't really seen it on any of the streams and stuff until recently. Yeah, how did you guys decide on no material? Because I think you were playing Gamma initially, Jesse, right?
No, I don't play.
Jesse was playing the card before the set even came out, right?
Yeah, I played in an online tournament. I had it do, but I think the card is very good. I don't know why people are playing it, to be honest. I don't know what the arguments against it are. Like, it's just another like Gam or Cherry's ass card. Cherry's just not good right now. Because Orcus can just put it back, and there's no good hit against Thunder. But like, it's just more of those like really strong going second hand traps. Right? I don't know why people weren't on it before. And like in a Thunder, where you can't really afford to side that many hand traps to the point where you're drawing 2 every game. You want your hand traps to be high impact, where cards like Cherries, Lancia, Gamma, Gnome are the hand traps you want to side, not like advantage type of hand traps like Ash, Veiler, Ogre, etc.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Gnome was just a blowout card every time I resolved it. Also, it's really good against like the rogue combo decks as well, because at some point in a combo, like especially against like the Synchro Ib decks, the Guard Dragon decks, if you just hit Ib whenever they summon her off Gnome, then they just can't do anything at all. Also against like the Crusadia Thunder Dragon version, I thought no one's better than Lancia as well, because if you gnome the Magus whenever they summon it, they just end their turn. Because I did that to Jesse, and like he had to make like a Phoenix and pass with it.
Hey, I ripped the card out of your hand too.
Yeah, like it's insane whenever it resolves.
I think I saw someone play no material on stream, and he got gnomed on his Magus, and like he still had plays. And I think Bolden actually I don't know if you saw it. He posted like the whole combo.
Yeah, Odin said the guy could have unicorned his own Magus and then still done the full combo.
Yeah, that was crazy to me.
But
like,
the guy obviously didn't see that play and didn't do it. But
like apparently, like you can still play through a gnome on Magus.
Well, his hand was insane. His hand was like his hand. Didn't he just have like 6 monsters? Like it was crazy. He just summoned infinite monsters. He could just do anything. There was not a card in Yu-Gi-Oh that would have stopped that from comboing.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up with some Q&A just for like the next 15 minutes or so. As I said in the chat, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. Ryan, I don't know if you've managed to have a look through, if you've picked out any good questions there.
I've picked out any good questions. No.
Right, just have a read then.
Actually, here's one. Let's see. Here's one I actually don't know. So somebody was asking the difference between Beat Cop and Landphalankus. Is there a difference? Is there some random? Does it put a light or dark in your grave for Levianeer that's relevant?
Koty, did you play Landphalankus or not?
Koty played Beat Cop.
Okay, so I play Landphalankus because it's a light. It comes up sometimes when you have 3 dangers on field in a blackened hand. That's like all you have. you make Landfoe, and then you make Triple Burst, you summon a Black Fin, so you just search white, and then you have the Guard Dragon combo. And I was playing B-Cop originally, the effect was pretty much irrelevant for me, and I just decided that the chance that I have that field was coming up more than B-Cop's effect. And then lights in general is hard to come by in the deck because the dangers are so they're so much more there in your deck. I don't know the word I'm blanking, but yeah, it's pretty much just the fact it was a light. That's what it comes down to. I guess in random scenarios it can't be Widow anchored, but I don't think that was ever the deciding factor.
Yeah. So, okay, here's another good question. I don't think the full list is out yet, but what cards are we excited for in Battles of Legend hero thing? Mine is the Psyframe Link, obviously, but you guys can probably pick. You guys can probably pick one of each.
You are, buddy.
So, what are your favorite? Ooh, somebody also just mentioned the Psyframe Link. Anyway, so what cards do you guys want to see from the new set?
I forgot like all the new cards that were coming up because I actually had this discussion like Sunday, I think, about all the cards that got announced. I forgot. Oh yeah, Secret Ray.
That's the one you want the most. Is just Secret Ray.
I like that rarity bump a lot.
That's fine. Yeah.
I forgot Striker Bomb at Heart.
Yeah.
Also, I like the new Link monster.
The salad good.
Yeah, the salad Link, right? That comes out.
That thing's kind of scary. I think it enables a lot of like silly things.
Sangan F.
Yes, I just picked 11 Italian Sangans for that, or Turbo Pack Sangans for that.
Oh no.
Yeah,
so,
like I thought Almirage was actually coming out in Dane. So
it was coming out what?
Like,
in
as
Dane?
Oh. Yeah, I thought it was. Like someone told me it was, but
yeah. I've stopped listening to people telling me when cards are coming out, to be honest, because they're usually wrong.
It's coming in every single set since 2016.
Needle Fiber soon.
Wherever it was, yes.
Yes, Needle Fiber. Yes, Needle Fiber confirmed for Dark Neostorm.
Needle Fiber has been set since 2017.
Yeah,
according to players.
Have you guys played against anything interesting throughout the tournament? Did you guys play any like unique rogue decks or?
Oh, I have a really fun one. I played against Cyber Dragon, and I was siding System Down for Orcus, and I was like, after game one, I was like, this is obvious. Like, I'll obviously put in System Down against Cyber Dragon, and then game 3
he killed you, right?
Close. Game 3. Funny story. I am so game 3. I'm like all right, this is it. He has like a bunch of guys. I've had Mystic Mine up for 15 turns because I am the greatest. And then my play is going to be anchor 2 of his guys, play over my mine, System Down his last guy, and then I have game. And then since, as I said, mine has been up on the field for like 15 turns. Before I have System Down, I look at his graveyard, and there are 9 Cyber Dragons in his graveyard. He's been discarding for hand limit. I remember, funny story, when Bowden was in America last time, Barnes & Noble was having clearance sales on all Yu-Gi-Oh! Packs. So we went to 15 Barnes & Nobles and bought out all of their Legendary Duelist 3 White Dragon Abyss, or whatever it's called. And then we opened all of them for a video. We pulled like 7 Cyberload fusions. So eventually I read that card. And I realized that if I were to activate System Down, while he has 4 sets, one of them is probably Cyberload Fusion, which for those of you who don't know, is a quick play fusion spell that says fusion summon using your banished. So I did not activate System Down and then almost lost, but didn't, but it was a close one. Very cool. Thanks, Cyberload. Thank you, Cyberload Fusion.
Thank you, Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah, thank you, Barnes and Noble clearance sale.
Jesse,
this win brought to you by Barnes & Noble and Bowden.
So my tournament was very weird in the main event. I played full round 12, 0 duplicate decks.
Wait, what do you mean duplicate decks?
He played 12 different decks.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was so crazy.
What even are the option past like 5?
Oh, no. So I had 2 buys, so it's not as crazy.
Oh, right, yeah.
I played against BA Orcas. Round 4 was Sky Striker, so it's normal. Okay, kind of normal. Round 5 was Altergeist. Then round 6 was Salmon Great. Round 7 was Pine Kids. And I'm undefeated at this point.
Oh yeah, I heard you played against Prime Kids at 7-0, and we were just like, Prime Kids are 7-0? Why?
It's crazy because the game was probably the easiest match in the tournament because I won the poll. Won like game one. He just said, "Oh man, it's such a bad matchup." So I'm like, "Whatever, I'll side for Sky Striker and Salad." And then he goes, "Activate frantic field spell, set a monster pack." Oh, okay, he's just dead.
Nice.
After that, I played Koty, so that's my only Thunder player until top. Round 9, Pens.
Nice.
Then round 10, I played against Dino Orcus.
Oh no, I don't like dinosaur cards.
Oh man, it was so scary. I won,
I know.
but I got so lucky that match. He summoned a monster in defense mode and then played Mystic Mine and couldn't crash his monster in.
Oh,
Game
cool.
3. Round 11, I played against Mystic Mine Burn.
Oh, just straight burn?
Yes, at X1.
That sounds really scary for Thunder, to be honest.
It's not that bad if you don't do it. Like, he just went turn 1 Prohibition, Eradicator, and Twin Twister. And like, God, I have no outs. And then went Mystic, and then like Mystic Mine. But I just went discard Light, Dark, and Lavinia because I had no monsters in the field. And Mystic Mine wasn't face up. He just had a Metaverse. He can't chain the.
Oh wow!
So I just, all right, now pop the 2 other face downs, and all he has is 2 Prohibitions on field. I just kill him.
Damn.
But yeah, that's whatever. And then round 12 against second Salmon Great, and then Top Cut was my second Thunder. But like, until that, I just played no duplicate decks. It was insane.
I think that says a lot for the format. Like, I think it's pretty cool. Like, you have your sort of.
Well, he didn't play against decks that are real.
Well,
he just played against.
I mean, Practice was 7-0. I mean, I for a lot of players, like, that's positive because, you know, you have the best decks, but you also have things that are, like, playable at, like, a somewhat decent level. Other than the fact that he set pass, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
How did you not get a feature match that round, Jesse? That's what I want.
Every time they came up to me 4 times during the tournament for a feature match, including my match against you, Koty, and I'd already started.
Dude,
Because they kept being so slow.
Round 4. When I was turning in my match slip, I was just like asked like, "Oh, are you 4-0?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I like asked for the feature, and I think they said yes. Maybe I misheard them, but I was pretty sure they said yes. You can have the feature next round. Then I sat down for round 5, got deck checked, and got a game loss for a deck list error. And I was like,
nice.
Great.
Karma.
This is a great feature match I got.
What did you forget to write?
I wrote Shark Cannon twice. So I wrote like 2 Shark Cannon, and the next line I wrote 1 Shark Cannon.
Okay. Did you play 3?
No.
Oh.
It was supposed to be Eagle Booster, and I was like, wow, this is the first deck list error I've gotten in 6 years. I was so shook.
Did anybody check your deck list this time?
No, but usually people don't anyway. But yeah.
You always ask people. Always have Bowden.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but Bowden wasn't here. See, my rock wasn't with me, so I got a deck list there for the first time in 6 years.
Every single time I'm with you guys have a deck. You have each other.
No, I didn't this time. I don't know why. So that's my fault. I guess this was the one time. I guess this was. But anyway, it was.
Hey,
fun.
Koty, are you a musket player at all, or am I mixing you up with someone else?
You're mixing.
I definitely didn't play against a musket player.
No. Like, do you like it, or like, have you played it before? I feel like maybe I'm mixing you with someone else.
Magical Musketeer? Are you thinking of Ed?
Maybe.
I was gonna say. I think you're thinking of Ed.
Oh.
Ed is I believe Ed is the only person in the TCG to top an event with Magical Musketeer.
Okay. Because this guy keeps spamming me in chat asking you to ask what you think of the new Link monster that's coming out.
I've never played Magical Musketeers.
Okay.
I don't think any of us have played Magical Musketeers.
That Link monster is really good though, like really good.
Yes, but
I don't even know what it
It's gonna
does.
be good.
It's crazy. You should read it. It is cool.
Going second, like it adds cards up to the number of monsters your opponent controls, or special.
Oh
monsters
yeah, I read
something.
that like a couple months ago actually.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Cards
nice.
seem nice if any of the Magical Musketeers cards did anything.
Yeah, they have Desperado. They pop things and stuff. So final point of the I guess before we wrap it up and call it a day. What do you think this does for the next most prestigious event, ARG Circuit Series, the YCQ next weekend?
Hey, when you guys are when I don't know how time zones work, but when you guys are bored of watching the European stream, be sure to watch the ARG Invitational stream where myself and unfortunately Calvin will be commentating it all weekend. I think.
I can't believe
I will definitely. I think we're both doing that. I'm not playing. God no.
I'm just.
I'm pretty sure.
I'll be there.
Oh,
Oh, you'll
wow.
be there. Okay, good.
I'm just really shocked that Calvin has been like given a microphone at all. Like that's really like the scary thing.
It'll be fun. Calvin and I, we're actually. I think we're gonna like dress up, like not in like full suit and tie, but we're gonna like dress up like more than we should, and we're going to be overly professional the whole time. Like
I'll see how long that lasts.
to the point of like BM.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's an interesting
We'll see.
play. I suppose he just doesn't want to win.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
Pretty much.
But yeah, how do you think that your performances at this NAWCQ is going to affect European WCQ in just a couple of days?
Hopefully, at least more than 5 Europeans will play Thunder at this event.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's so crazy. They just still don't play it.
Yeah.
It's
That was the best
mind-blowing,
deck over
and I
there.
don't understand why.
Clearly so.
I feel like
Dude, so
you're...
my theory is that Salamangreat monsters just have more.
Nice run.
That's the only theory I have right now. I don't understand.
Salamangreat.
How that. I mean, everyone in Europe just plays Salamangreat, and I don't know why.
It's just really popular, yeah. I feel like in general Europeans just play more control-y decks. Americans always love like the big like combo decks.
See, I
more,
don't think that's how
kind of.
that works. I don't think that's real.
I'm not sure. It just feels like Europeans just play like the less powerful decks and like go for like control-y a little bit more. It seems like, I don't know.
I think that's also sometimes dictated by the card pool because historically we've had jump promos that you don't have that have actually changed the meta a lot. Right now, I believe you guys just got the last jump promo that we weren't even playing anyway. Like Shooting Riser Dragon I've only summoned that card in my cube, and that card has been out for 8 months, so 6 months.
Yeah.
So
like, you guys
I
had
don't
like
even-
Summon Sorceress way before.
yeah, we had
us and
Summon
stuff,
Sword, we
so-
had Link Karibo when you guys didn't, and that was not super important for Goki, but it was very helpful for Goki and for Geist.
Hmm.
And then we had Summon Sword, obviously, that changed a lot of stuff for us. But
So what would you play for the EWCQ? Would you guys just play Thunder again, or?
Thunder, 100%.
Thunder Striker. Yeah.
I think the Mind Striker deck is really good, and the
Yeah.
Thunder deck, obviously. But I think the Mind Striker deck is just good against the Thunder deck. So
With Jesse's list being out, no, I'd probably make my deck a little bit more towards Striker, though.
yeah, I think with Jesse's, like Jesse's list is gonna be like the standard for Sky Striker going forward, and then I think probably your list is gonna be the standard for Thunder going forward. So
I think I'm interested to see if my Striker does have any impact there. I don't know why more people don't play Thunder, although one thing I will messages from Europeans asking for help with Thunder Dragons. So it's maybe they're all catching on finally, but yeah. I'm interested to see how much Double or Nothing has an impact because at the end of WCQ, it still wasn't played that much. I guess it was like really late for people to switch deck lists, but I know like out of the people who played it in my like testing group, there were some people that still topped with it. Unfortunately, none of them went deep.
You know, Manav ended up playing it, right?
Well, he
Oh,
got
yeah,
fucking
that's
like
fine.
reverse sweep 2-0'd by Jesse, like OTK'd twice on stream. If he didn't play it, then I would be very surprised. He would have been so upset, like, I'm playing this card now.
the one time I was gonna do it to someone in Swiss, I shark cannoned his Harp Horror and then made a rank 4, and he just scooped and said, "You're not getting me with that Utopia nonsense." And I was like, "What?"
Please tell me you were at least playing it.
Yeah, I was playing.
Okay,
But,
cool.
like,
Okay.
but it was like, I was like, okay, like he didn't even want to see it. He just.
Like, I thought you were gonna, like, overlay Double Rain to, like, something silly, like, Dweller, and he was
What's
just like,
your-
nope, I'm not taking that.
Crazy box for Eradicator.
Huh?
Crazy box for Eradicator. Who's what?
That's nice. I just played Dark Rebellion for Eradicator, probably.
That's just bad.
Right? Isn't that just better? Oh well.
Probably.
So,
Not much fun, but sure.
so Thunder Dragon is probably the deck to beat. We will see a lot of Sky Striker in Europe. Salmon Great. I don't know. Like, it's a weird deck. Like, for me personally, the way I look at that deck, it's just like it's so consistent and very versatile. You can build it to
It's
like
consistently bad. The deck sucks. Please, everybody watching, the deck is so bad. Please.
Wait,
don't
which
hate it.
deck?
Salmon Grace.
Dude, all right, Jesse.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, one of these days, I'm gonna perfect my going second Cyber Salamangreat combo deck. One of these days.
You
Spinning
did-
Koty is 12,000 damage, by the way,
Would you like to,
for all of you playing at home.
would you like to remind us how many copies of Flame Buffalo you purchased, Ryan?
No. I don't have it anymore. I sold them all. It was pretty good. Not gonna. I mean, yeah, that's one of 2 cards I've done pretty well on actually.
And how many did you buy initially to sell?
600.
600 Flame Buffaloes. Well, at least you made a profit, so
I did. I bought them for 15 cents each.
very good. All right, I think that'll probably do it for today. This has been a pretty great show, so thank you everyone who came out. I'm really sorry for the production call. I don't know what happened. Hopefully I'll try and make it really nice for the EU WCQ FarfaCast we'll do next week at some point. So thank you to everyone who joined me. Ryan Levine, as always, make sure you guys watch the ARG event next weekend. That'll be probably running after the EU WCQ.
Let's meet in the middle. How about everyone have the EU stream on the right side of your monitor and the ARG stream on the left side of your monitor, but listen to the ARG commentary.
Yes.
How about that? Is that okay?
I would
All
actually
right.
prefer that. Like listening to Calvin. Yes.
Can I plug myself?
Go ahead. Yes, you guys can all blog yourselves now.
Go to YugiOhMarket.com. You can buy any singles there. We ship internationally. Use the code PROPOTATO, no spaces. You get 5% off on all singles.
I would like everyone to check out the luxury gaming tournaments. We have great tournaments running online. Ranges anywhere from cash tournaments to card tournaments, which we actually just posted a new Chaos Emperor Dragon tournament online. So I hope everyone will go check those out. And if you're not on the page, definitely give it a like and enter some tournaments.
There you go. So that's Facebook for luxury gaming tournaments. ProPotato5 as your discount code on
No 5.
Oh, no 5.
No
Sorry,
5.
ProPotato as on YCS Market, is it?
Yeah, YCS.com.
There you go. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week and see ya next time.